Hey everybody, it's Tommy Anderson, and I want to talk about my newest creation, which is of the 1975 Monogram. It's Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-15 NATO designator faggot. And this kit came in 3 different liveries. You could do North Korea, Russia, or Chinese, and I chose North Korea because it's going to go with the theme I'm doing with the companion piece of the North American F-86 Sabre, which was its adversary during the Korean War. Well, I'm going to tell you about this kit. You know, it was pretty interesting to make. I love the old Monogram kits. It takes me back to my teenage years, and I could make a easy kit. Enjoyed making them. I got the satisfaction, and I didn't have to get into the weeds with all the newer stuff with the etched parts and resin casting additions and things like that. It was a fun, good kit. This kit went together very well, and I enjoyed doing it. And so I'm going to take you now through the pictures to show you what was involved in me building this. What you initially see is the breakdown of all the parts, and it was a very clean kit. There were not a lot of, I don't want to say flash on the edges, just a couple few pieces. I got this at a secondhand store for $6, and it's not a super expensive kit. You can find them all over the place yet. But for $6, it was open as is. I took a look at it, and it looked complete to me, so I went ahead and purchased it. Well, lo and behold, as I'm breaking the parts down, I find out that it's missing part number 23, which is the control panel. Well, you can't really see it that well inside the model, but still, you know, it just kind of infuriated me that it was gone. But as is kit, you know, it's to be expected that some things will be missing, and you hope it's nothing really crucial. So I drew on my scratch building days, and I built myself a scratch build out of styrene plastic and instrument panel. Now, since it was just flat, I wanted it to have some kind of detail, so I actually took the picture of a MiG-15 instrument panel. I made it into a decal, and I applied the decal to the painted surface of the control panel, and it actually looked nice in place. I had primered everything and then painted it. I used what was called a Russian aircraft interior green. I got it at Burbank House of Hobbies. I've never seen it before, but I figured if I work on Soviet aircraft or sometimes Eastern Bloc aircraft, you know, they use a lot of the same colors, so I thought, well, it'll come in handy, and in this case it did. I used it to paint the interior part of the cockpit, and then I went ahead and I did the detail painting on it, painted the seat, applied the seat belts, control stick, you know, things of that nature, and it looked pretty good. So then it fit just right inside the space for it in the fuselage. So I went ahead and I painted the interior parts of the aircraft fuselage that would need to be in the same type of green. So I did that. I then assembled the fuselage, got it together, taped it, and went on and worked on the wings. The wings I put together. I had also I painted the interior part of that you could see from the air brakes, and got that taken care of. And I did the inside the flaps. They had opened up, so the interior of that was supposed to be this Russian green also. So I did that. And things are going along really good. I assembled the wings. I put the wings together, and I just thought, wow, I'm really rolling along on this thing. I got it primered using a Tamiya gray primer, and after I primered it, I used a Tamiya mica aluminum. It's the first time I've ever used it, but I thought it looked so much like the natural finish on some of these old fighters, and I was very pleased with how it looked after I got it on there. But then I go to put on the final details, and the air brakes that I had worked on and I had painted, I inadvertently threw them away. And I'll tell you what I did. I had the masking tape that I took off for masking off all the parts, and I had put the masking tape down, not realizing I put it on top of the air brakes, and of course then I go throw it away. And when I go to assemble it, it's like, oh no, where are my air brakes? I looked all over for it, and I thought the only thing I could have done is thrown it away. I went to the trash, and there was one of them attached to a piece of masking tape. I could not find the other. So here I'm back at square one again, and I had to scratch build one of the air brakes, put a bend in it so it could match the fuselage. I painted it interior green and the outside the mica aluminum, and I think it turned out pretty good for a scratch build. And I put it on the outside. I don't even think you can tell the difference. So I did apply the decals. I applied the undercarriage then. I didn't want to do the undercarriage until I had the decals on, because sometimes when you're fussing around with that stuff, you'll knock the landing gear off or something like that. So I applied the decals, got the landing gear on, all the gear doors, did touch-up paint on the aircraft, the gun barrels, touched up a couple spots on the landing gear that weren't painted, and then I trimmed out the canopy, and I used, for this time, I used these acrylic markers for doing fine detail on models. I've never used it for this before, but I used the silver pen, and I did the canopy metal portions with this pen, and I didn't have to mask it or anything. It just went perfectly along the lines of the metal ribbing of the canopy, and it's very fast drying, so I did that. I also used it for painting on the navigational lights on the aircraft. It worked very well for that also, so I'd like to recommend that to anybody, you know, that wants to do those things, and very happy with it. But this is how it turned around. Here's a 360 degree view of it, and a top view, and you know, enjoy. Thank you so much. Bye now.